The tech industry has a PR problem.
This is not about replacing the human in the loop. In fact, it's about empowering the human.
We are being fed this constant story about how AI will assist us and create new and better jobs.
And I hope that those future jobs, if we could know what they were today, we would say, that is so trivial, it's so stupid, such an indulgence. They don't know what it was like when we had to do real work. But there will be jobs.
But if you're paying attention, you may have noticed the onslaught of tech layoffs in the beginning of 2024. The narrative making its way around about this revolves around overhiring during the pandemic. But the truth is starting to come out as CEOs from IBM to UPS are admitting that AI is playing a large role in their layoffs and hiring decisions. All of this is being driven by the race to AGI, a generalized intelligence capable of outperforming the median human. And as this race heats up, with AI becoming more and more capable, with breakthroughs every day it seems like, the impact is starting to spread far beyond the tech industry. With such massive changes percolating to the surface, it may remind you of the last time the tech industry automated a large portion of our lives and fundamentally changed how we relate to each other. We don't have to repeat this story, though. But if we want to have a chance of changing it, we need to confront the truth of what's happening right now.
I don't know the future. I didn't come here to tell you how this is going to end. I came here to tell you how it's going to begin.
You aren't going to go into work one day and find a robot sitting at your desk. What will happen first is that you're going to find one or two humans working with an army of AI agents, outperforming what used to be a team of people. And there's a reason for this, and it has to do with the way these systems think.
Did you just say think? Way to anthropomorphize.
No, it's okay. I think he's about to make a point. Let him finish.
What's happening?
We are your inner voice.
We? Why are there two of you?
Oh, there's a bunch of us. This shirt is itchy. I really love
Do
waffles.
dolphins drink their own pee? Is anyone even gonna watch this video?
Are we alone in the
Time
universe?
is it in London?
Birds
Is
are
it
tiny
cold?
dogs.
I have to leave my keys.
Cold in here? I want a cookie.
That inner dialogue you just witnessed is an example of what Daniel Kahneman calls System 1 thinking. System 1 thinking is fast, automatic, and largely unconscious. It's the kind of thinking that allows us to navigate familiar situations and recognize patterns. We can make quick judgments based on intuition and heuristics. In contrast, System 2 thinking is slow, deliberate, and effortful. It's the kind of thinking we engage in when we're solving complex problems. It's effectively the difference between doing something on autopilot versus consciously thinking about and engaging with our inner world. There's a lot more to say about this in a bit, but as of now, AI, particularly large language models, are only capable of System 1 thinking. These models are trained on vast amounts of data to allow them to recognize and internalize patterns so that they can quickly and automatically generate outputs. These models lack the ability to consciously reason and plan. They cannot make decisions based on a deeper understanding of the world. They don't have agency or intentionality. This is why the most powerful applications of AI today involve humans working together with AI agents. The AI can handle the fast, automatic tasks that require processing large amounts of data, while the human can provide the slower, more deliberate thinking that's necessary for making complex decisions. So in this way, it's true that AI can empower humanity if we are willing to embrace it as a partner. But this is just the beginning of the story.
Remember, all I'm offering is the truth, nothing more.
AI can augment and enhance human intelligence, but it can't replace the unique capabilities of the human mind. At least, not yet. There is a ton of research at AGI labs around the world right now going into how to imbue more effective reasoning and planning skills into these systems. This is what OpenAI's Hush Hush QStar project is about.
We are not ready to talk about that.
Allocating more compute or thinking resources to harder problems. To be clear, once we achieve AGI, all bets are off for what the future of work and our economy turns into. But there's still one giant elephant in the room.
Look, I think compute is going to be the currency of the future. I think it will be maybe the most precious commodity in the world.
The problem is one of scale. If you ask an AI system to cure cancer, that's a very different problem than asking it to fill in your tax form for you. The systems of the future will understand that and allocate more time and compute to harder problems. This is the reason Microsoft wants to invest $100 billion into building a supercomputing cluster in what is the largest infrastructure project in human history. This project, known as Stargate, exists to power the vast amounts of compute the world will need in the very near future.
But compute is different. Like intelligence is going to be more like energy or something like that, where the only thing that I think makes sense to talk about is at price X, the world will use this much compute, and at price Y, the world will use this much compute.
Just as energy enabled the third industrial revolution, ample and affordable compute will be the currency that powers the AI revolution, or the fourth industrial revolution.
And there's a lot of parts of that that are hard. Energy is the hardest part. Building data centers is also hard. The supply chain is hard. And then, of course, fabricating enough chips is hard.
Let's pause here and take a step back for a second. To get an AI system to think critically about a problem requires billions of dollars and massive amounts of energy and compute resources. The human brain can do the same thing, albeit much slower, but you can run one of these things with just a banana for energy. When it comes to tackling truly hard problems, human compute is still far more efficient and cost-effective than artificial intelligence. Human creativity and ideas will remain the driving force behind innovation and progress, even while AI helps us to manifest those ideas into reality at a much quicker pace. The future is about ideas and creativity, and it belongs to those of us who understand how to leverage the hand that we've been dealt.
I think critical thinking, creativity, the ability to figure out what other people want, the ability to have new ideas, that, in some sense, that'll be the most valuable skill of the future.
While cultivating a mind capable of critical and creative thinking may help you keep your job for a little while longer, its real value serves a deeper purpose. Like all technology, AI is dual use. It can be used for good or for nefarious purposes. And how it's used is largely dependent on the consciousness level of the society that builds it. The story of atomic energy serves as a warning here. When we discovered quantum physics in the midst of the beginning of World War II, instead of focusing on the immense energy opportunities now available to us, we channeled our understanding of the subatomic world into building the first weapon of mass destruction. We are at a similar choke point in history right now. The ability to generate deep fakes, realistic photos, videos, and just general propaganda is now capable of being cultivated and deployed by nefarious actors at an unprecedented scale. From now on, we should all be questioning everything we see. This is how we think critically, by questioning our core beliefs, by questioning what is real.
How do you define real? If you're talking about what you can feel, what you can smell, what you can taste and see, then real is simply electrical signals interpreted by your brain.
The reason the social media revolution was so effective at capturing our attention lies in the fact that developers, marketers, and news organizations understand how our minds work more deeply than we do ourselves. Before I made YouTube videos, I spent 15 years as a software engineer and architect, building systems that take advantage of human cognitive biases to harvest that most precious resource. our attention. You see, most of the time, we aren't really thinking about what we're doing. We can't, possibly. There's too much information to process, too many variables. If you sit down and do nothing for a little while, you'll start to realize you are actually doing a whole lot. Our minds have to regulate our entire bodies, our heartbeat, our nervous system, our breathing, our hormones. Over billions of years of evolution, nature has come up with a lot of shortcuts and ways of dealing with this complexity. When we are engaged in that automatic system one type thinking, that mode of unconscious thinking, it can feel like thoughts just appear in our heads. Human thought is deeply intertwined with emotions. Our brains index our memories based on the emotions we experience. As a consequence of this, when we experience intense emotions, our brains and bodies enter a programmable state. In this state, our minds and bodies are primed to remember and internalize experiences on a subconscious level. This helped our ancestors quickly learn and adapt to situations that evoked strong emotions, such as fear. And when that happens, and we feel that fear, our brains helpfully pull up all the memories we have related to fear. And we remember how we dealt with the fear in the past. And most crucially, how we survived it. This all happens very quickly, largely on a subconscious level, so that we can react quickly. In this way, the limbic system, or the lizard brain, the one responsible for governing our emotions, it helps guide our actions, triggering automatic responses, an adaptation that helped us to conserve the energy-intensive thinking resources of our prefrontal cortex. The problem is, in our modern world where there isn't a lion hiding behind the fridge, that fear can easily be triggered with a simple notification from your little black mirror. Like I said before, the people that develop these systems know this about us, which means, in turn, AI knows this about us. By taking advantage of negativity bias, mixing in a little anchoring bias, and throwing in a dash of availability bias, the powers that be can keep us afraid and alone, knowing how to condition our automatic responses, keeping us susceptible to control.
You are a slave, Neo. Like everyone else, you were born into bondage, born into a prison that you cannot smell or taste or touch. A prison for your mind.
And as AI mirrors and amplifies everything we do, this is where the real danger of the AI revolution reveals itself. Not that we'll lose our jobs, because as we transition into a post-labor society, we will, but that we'll lose our soul. As AI-facilitated content begins to dominate our world, it's crucial that we learn to think critically and creatively. We need to develop an opposable mind, the ability to hold two conflicting ideas in our head at the same time and still retain the ability to function. The truth is not found in the extremes, but in the tension between them. On one hand, nihilism tells us that life has no inherent meaning, and therefore suffering is pointless. On the other side of the spectrum, the optimist says life is full of meaning, and we should avoid suffering at all costs to maximize happiness. But the truth lies in the struggle between these two ideas. Life isn't about avoiding tension and suffering. It's about facing them with bravery and purpose. It's about voluntarily stepping into discomfort because we believe in something greater than our own temporary comfort. This is the basis of agency and intentionality. The fact that we are willing to sacrifice the present moment for a future that only exists as a dream in our head. This ability to direct our conscious attention is our superpower. It's what makes us powerful in a world that is becoming saturated with intelligence. The ideas and beliefs that govern our subconscious tend to calcify over time if we let them. That's why it's so important to revisit old patterns of thinking with fresh eyes. When we can engage with ideas that don't make intuitive sense to us, we are training ourselves to sit with discomfort, holding space for the paradox and contradiction. The goal isn't for one idea to win over others, but rather to integrate diverse and even opposing perspectives to arrive at a more complete understanding. Truth isn't a battle to be won, but a puzzle to be pieced together. So embrace the tension, embrace the chaos, allow your mind to be stretched and your perspective to be broadened. It's in this place of growth and expansion that we can begin to see the bigger picture. Because in order to not just survive, but thrive in the age of AI, we need to double down on what makes us uniquely human. So let us not run from that which challenges us, but bravely face it. And in doing so, discover who we really are and what we're truly capable of. If we can do that, AI will not conquer us, but empower us to become the highest version of ourselves so that we can focus on that which truly matters. But like I said before, this is just the beginning of the story. And to understand the full picture, you should watch this video next to dive into the aftermath of AGI.